What do you do when the honeymoon phase with your watch begins to end? And how do you combat the effects of the excitement of your new purchase starting to fade? Well, that is what I want to talk about today, and I actually have 3 ideas for how we can prolong the honeymoon phase and really just sort of extend that appreciation of our watches and give us that feeling that we had on day one of purchasing that watch. But first, let's really define what the honeymoon period with a watch really is. I think this is truly a universal experience that we all can relate to as watch collectors, and to me, the honeymoon period is really those first couple days, weeks, months, and maybe even sometimes years with a watch after you just purchased it, where you're just completely enamored with the watch, you are so happy with the purchase, you take pictures of it constantly, and really just have zero regrets and don't have any thoughts of the watch leaving your possession. The honeymoon period with your watch is truly euphoric, but the problem is what happens afterward. After some time, our feelings begin to change. Maybe it's because you got a scratch on the watch, maybe you're starting to find some flaws with it, maybe your tastes change, whatever the case may be, the watch begins to be normalized in your collection like any other watch, and you start to really look online for other pieces and you get excited about new things, and that watch that you were so excited about on day one really isn't important anymore. And like I said before, what I find so interesting about this experience and this phenomenon is that I think we all can truly relate to it. I myself can think back to when I purchased my first ever Rolex watch about 5 years ago, and I was so excited. I had so many positive emotions. I was so proud of the work I put in to buy that watch. And then all of a sudden, maybe like 2 or 3 months later, I didn't care about that watch as much anymore. I was already on to the next thing, already looking for new watches, and I actually sold that watch in very quick order. If you told me on day one of buying that Rolex that just a few months later I'd be moved on and already looking at other watches, I would think you're crazy, but that is just the reality of watch collecting sometimes. So how as watch collectors can we start to combat those feelings of the excitement fading or the honeymoon expiring with our watch? So I have 3 ideas I want to share with you all. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of these philosophies or ideas, and without further ado, let me just go ahead and share them. Number 1 is really just normalizing the feeling of not buying new watches often and really trying to limit our online shopping for watches. Now, I know that's a really hard thing to do because it's very easy to buy a watch these days. All it takes is one click and a watch could be on the way to your house. And we're also inundated with lots of photos and eBay listings and Reddit postings of watches. So I get it. It's not easy to limit that. But to me, it's that instant gratification that I'm trying to let go of personally, because when that honeymoon phase starts to really fade, my first thought is, what else can I buy? But that's not a really great thought. I personally think my biggest problem is that I don't let things marinate enough. So after that phase sort of starts to end, just try to really hold on to that watch and not get used to just constantly shopping for the next best thing, because for all you know, you're going to gain a newfound appreciation for that watch. It's going to shift, your feelings are going to change, and I have personally found that happen many times. I will get sick of a watch, that phase will end, and then a new one will begin one day shortly thereafter, where I find new things I love about the watch, or my taste kind of shifts back to that watch. And so I think it's really worth it to just try to hold on to these pieces as long as possible. Number 2, and this one may be less cost effective, but it's buying new straps for your watches. I think we all know this is pretty much the go-to option for prolonging the life of a watch. I mean, it is really the easiest way to sort of gain a newfound appreciation for your watch or kind of look at it from a different lens or a different perspective. All the time, I will find myself buying a new strap, which is, of course, way more cost effective than buying a new watch. And all of a sudden, I view that watch in a much different light. I personally have a lot of fun, not only changing the straps on my watches, but trying styles of straps with watches that maybe wouldn't normally go together. So taking a dress watch or a dressier watch and adding an elastic loop band or a NATO strap and just kind of seeing what I think. I think that's a lot of fun to kind of just mess around with styles and see what you like and really start to develop your taste more and more. And again, that really breathes new life into a watch in my experience. Last but not least, I think it's really important to embrace the idea of living life with your watches. Now, on the surface, that may sound a bit romantic or a bit corny, but I really think watch collecting is a romantic hobby, and it's important to remember that these watches are living a life with you. They're on your wrist day in and day out, experiencing all the ups and the downs of each day, and there's something really special and fun about that. When I have a watch that I bought with the intention of keeping for a very long time that I begin to think about selling, what I try to do is remember that if I sold this watch after 6 months or a year, it would just be one of many watches that I bought and sold. That really means nothing to me in the long run. I don't really have many watches that I think about that I previously sold that played a very small role in my life. What I do think about are the watches that have had a profound impact on me and have stood the test of time in my collection. What I try to remember is that if I have this watch for 5, 10, 15 plus years, maybe the rest of my life, it'll mean everything to me. But if I sell it now, it'll mean nothing. That thought is usually enough for me to repress those feelings of wanting to sell that watch. Of course, I still buy and sell watches all the time. I have lots of honeymoon periods and I sell a lot of watches after that period ends. But these are just some ideas that I've had that have worked for me to try to reduce the amount of times I buy and sell watches. I said it before and I'll say it again. Having a honeymoon period with your watch and having it fade is just a universal experience within the world of watch collecting. So I'm very curious what you guys have to say in the comment section down below for ways that you have been able to sort of reduce your ability to sell watches after that period has ended. And let me know what you guys think of my ideas in this video. I would love to discuss it with you in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, I would greatly appreciate it if you can give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.